Welcome to Math 7. This is our math homepage. If you have taken Georgia virtual classes before, you should notice that the homepage looks a little different than the last time you logged in. We got an upgrade. So let's take a look at our homepage. First, on the right-hand side, you are going to notice the teacher information. If you have not written this information down, please take time to do that now. This tells you my contact number, my email address. It tells you when I am going to be available, and you can click here to watch the welcome message, and then you can email me using your Office 365 account. If you have not set up your Office 365 email account, please make sure you do that, as all correspondence from this point forward will go to your Georgia Virtual email, not your personal email. When I select parent, it will also go to your parental email that was provided when you signed up for the course. The next section you'll see is the course information. These links are the links to the different syllabi. Make sure you click the correct link so that you don't get messed up. These are our Georgia Performance Standards. This is the acknowledgement form download. Please click it. You and your parents should read through it and sign it and then upload it to Dropbox. Now this form is not one that you can type in. You are going to need to print the last page and sign it, date it, and then you can take a picture of it with your cell phone and send that picture to your email and then upload to the Dropbox. There is an app that I do recommend, and there are several of them. You never want to pay for an app, and you never want to have to register with your personal information for anything that we do with Georgia Virtual School as far as outside sites. But it's like pick to PDF, and you can change your pictures to PDF files and they'll just upload real nice in our Dropbox. Now, every week we are going to have a synchronous session. It's at 5 p.m. on Wednesdays. I do realize that is church night for a lot of people, and I apologize for that. These sessions will be recorded so that you can watch them at a later time. But this seemed to be the only night that everybody just wasn't crazy with the schedule, and so I do apologize for church night people. But it's, my local churches have changed theirs to Thursday nights. So I was thinking, okay, let's try Wednesday. Anyway, if you keep going, this is your Office 365 information, and you can click here to open up your email. This is your calendar. This is where the cloud, it's OneDrive. Then you also have access to lynda.com. You can, even though that says teacher and staff, I want to make sure I change the role. You won't have this role switch, guys. That is for me so that I can show you what the course homepage looks like as a student. And so this lynda.com is really awesome because you can click on it and you can look up, like if you wanted to learn about photography, you should have access to that where you can read about it and have some lessons. If you keep going, you've got user links down here. When we have a help session, you will find it down here, the recording. Resources, here is your parent welcome and the student welcome. They're really the same thing. I changed a few things, but not many. And then if you go back up to the top, here's our classroom bulletin board. This will stay the same until our 12-week students join. Once they join, then I can change this. This is our news announcement section. Please make sure you read these. Don't just ignore them, because a lot of times, like if I find a link that all of a sudden isn't working, then I'll post it here and I'll give you a different source to go to. So make sure you're reading those. Now, the most important, well, there's lots of most importance. The course materials. If you click course materials, let's look at the checklist first. The checklist is a link with everything that you have to do in the course, and you can put a check by it and then you can click save once you have completed that assignment. You don't have to use the checklist, it's just a good organizational tool. If we go to course materials again, we can go to content. This is where you're going to find your lessons. So operations with rational numbers, that's our first unit. If you click on it, then over on the right hand side it should change to just that unit. And when you click complete pages 1 through 3, a new tab will open and here are your lessons. And you will go through and you will read, folks, these are your key terms, that's your vocab. Write it down. And then when you click the next page, it'll go through. You have to pause the videos, but there are the videos for the lessons. If you will notice in the blue bar over here, it says Khan Academy Number Properties Video 1. The reason that's there is because, I don't know about you, but that's pretty tiny. And he's written something right there, and I can't see it. So if you click the link over here in the blue bar, it'll take you to the actual video itself. So let me point out a few things on this page. This, of course, as I've been calling, is the blue bar. In the blue bar, you've got more resources, like games or the videos, for instance. But look right there, handouts, number properties homework key. Ooh! Well, if you go to the bottom, you've got number properties homework, and you will click right there to download your homework. Now, if you look at the course schedule, the homework is not something you will be turning in. It is for you to practice on. Once you have completed the homework, if you scroll back to the top and click the key, you'll be able to check your answers. Now, of course, it's not going to give you all the answers. Some assignments do give you all the answers, but most of them either give you the odd problems or the even problems. So if you are struggling with that topic, just send me an email. Another thing I want to point out is this beautiful print all button. If you like to have a paper copy, you click print all and there you go. And it's the entire body of lessons. Now, notice the videos aren't in here, okay? And you're not going to be able to check your answers. So just be aware that any little things we have stuck in there, like the videos and whatnot, and external files, you're not going to be able to get to those. But you can print it and take notes on it. Okay, so we've gone through all the lessons. Oh man, we're at page 10. Look, it says it's a wrap-up. There's my checklist. Okay, but guys, don't stop there, because if you look at your calendar of assignments, the next 3 things after you've done all of this would include your project, your discussion, and the test. So go on to page 11. And that's where you're going to find your discussion topic. It's where you're going to find information on your project. Sometimes the project link is in the text like this one is, and sometimes it's in the blue bar. And then it tells you to take your test. Okay, so let's go back to the home page. So I'm going to close that tab. And, well, my goodness, where do I go from here? If you just click the middle school math title, it's going to bring you back to the home page. So here's our home page again. Now, under course materials, the 2 main things are the checklist and the content. The glossary has nothing in it, okay? You can play around with these other ones. You can add words to the glossary, but they're embedded in your lessons. So now you're thinking, okay, well, I've got to do that discussion. So where do I go? You're going to click Assessments, and you're going to click Discussions. Here are our discussions. It gives you all of them. Now, I don't recommend that you go through and complete all the discussions because discussions are graded on a couple of things. Number one, it's graded on accuracy. So if you haven't done the lesson, then you're less likely to get your discussion accurate. It's also graded on did you follow instructions? Did you answer all of the questions? So we'll click the name of the discussion and it talks about what you need to do. You're going to start a new thread. And then you can label it. I usually put my name. And then I'll tell you a little bit about myself. Let's see, I'll just say this is a test message. Once I'm finished, I'm going to click post. Okay, so there is your post. Sometimes, and actually on all of them except this one, it says go back and respond to 2 classmates. You get points taken off if you don't do that. So to respond to a classmate, you're going to click their post, you're going to read it, and then you're going to reply to thread. You're going to say whatever you want to say about it, and then you're going to post. Okay? Not that difficult. Let me warn you on the discussions. They need to be topic related. In other words, oh, you did a great job. Thanks for posting. That's not going to cut it. That had nothing to do with math. That was just a compliment. Now, don't get me wrong. I love for you to compliment each other. That's great. But you need to make sure you include your content as well. In other words, make it math related. All right, so we did our discussion. Now I need to do that project. Okay, so I printed it off. Well, where do I turn it in? You're going to go to your Dropbox. The Dropbox opens, and lo and behold, here is the list of projects. The first thing you're going to upload is that syllabus and handbook acknowledgement form. Now, folks, the syllabus is not what you're uploading. It's the handbook acknowledgement form. So if you click that, a new screen opens. You are going to add a file. Now, I'm not going to click that because I don't have one to add right now. If you want to say, hey, if you want to say number 2 gave me problems, whatever, you can type it right there, but you don't have to type anything. And then you're going to click submit. Now please wait until you get a notice that says your file has been uploaded, something along those lines. Because if you click off of this page too soon, it will not upload your file, and if you don't pay attention to your grades and the feedback, you're going to get a 0. So once you've uploaded, you're good to go. Next, quizzes and tests. Click your quizzes under assessments. Here's a list of your quizzes and tests. So you're going to click your practice quiz. That'll be your first one. Notice it tells us the current time, it tells us who we are, and guys, please make sure that's your name and not somebody else's. It tells you right here how much time is allowed. So you need to make sure you pay close attention to that. I've even told students before to set an alarm. Most students have cell phones. Use that cell phone alarm and set it for 12 minutes, or even I would even set it, less than 12 minutes so that when it goes off, I know, oh my goodness, I've got 2 minutes left. It tells you how many times it's allowed and how many you've completed. And then you can't see it on mine, of course, but down here there should be a start button. Okay, and then you'll go through your quiz. And at the end of each quiz, please make sure you hit submit. If you do not submit the quiz, you get a 0. And then we have to go through the process of figuring out why didn't you submit it, what happened. So just make sure you hit that submit. Now, once I've graded your quiz, I'm going to show you this really quick. You'll click the quiz name, and then out to the side, there's a drop-down menu that says Submissions. It'll take you to another page, and it says you have not attempted this quiz, but yours will say it's been graded. And you should be able to click on, I think it's called Attempt 1, and when you click on it, it's going to bring up a new page with your missed questions. And at the bottom of each question, if you click Feedback, I'm going to have something there that tells you this is probably what you're doing wrong, or this is what you did wrong, or this is how to solve it. Something along those lines. And so that means, guys, if it's a short answer question, make sure you are telling me how you did the problem. Show me your work. Okay, so, well, how am I doing in this class? Under Assessments, go to Grades. Here is a list of grades. It's going to show you what you made, and then even though it doesn't show up right now, right here, you're going to see feedback from me. Now, folks, on most of the quizzes and tests and things, I'm going to tell you, okay, you did pretty well on this, but I need you to go back and review your feedback. That's my every time kind of feedback, because I give specific feedback in the missed questions. Okay? Sometimes I'll say, I want you to go to this other site and practice before you move on. And that is something I want to point out here too. Guys, it's very likely that you're going to see the same questions from the practice quizzes to the test. So give me time to grade before you move on so that you can go back and review your missed questions so that you don't miss them again. And so what that means on your part is that you have got to work on schedule or even ahead of schedule. And that way I can get your stuff graded and you can review it and make sure you understand it before you move on. That's just a good skill to have in an online course. All right, so let's go back to the home page. So we're back at our home page. The other thing I would like to point out is right up here. If you see a little red dot, that means you need to click it so that you can see what's going on. These are updates. This are more updates, and then this is our pager, and I'm not going to click it because I have messages in there now that I don't want to share. But if you click it, you can find my name and you can type me a message and I'll get a little red dot. But when you log in, if you have a red dot, you need to make sure you check it because that may mean I've sent you a message. And that's the gist of our course. If you have questions, please don't hesitate to ask, okay? Because I will be happy to help you navigate this.